Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Radiant Tale continuing Genia's route. We went a little over last time because I got distracted and forgot. I was like, oh, I looked up and I was like, okay, we got a few more minutes. We'll just finish up this scene. And then we started the next one, and I was like, oh shit. You're lucky we weren't here for like 3 hours. Some of you wouldn't have complained. I know. You would have been happy for it. You had to wait an extra day. But anyway, we were just basically told Ginia, yes, I have a crush on someone, and he's an idiot and doesn't realize it's him. Oh, the angst. Oh, my heart. My chest ached with anguish as I walked down the corridor, my steps sluggish. I feel that, girl. I put some distance between me and the office, staggered over to the wall, and leaned against it, suddenly weak. What is this feeling? Ginia had rambled on as if he was afraid of what I would say next. I knew exactly what his actions implied. I let out a long sigh. Oh, okay. So is she thinking that he's like, oh, who is it? Oh my God, and blah, 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 because I'm going to fill this in because I don't want you to tell me it's me because I don't have the same feelings for you. So maybe if I keep rambling, you'll just take the hint and not say anything? Oh, that hurts more than him just being oblivious, But then it's going to have to be, he's going to say something to Aleste, and Aleste's going to be like, are you an idiot? You know you do have feelings for her. You can't be that stupid. What are you doing? What are you doing? This is the first time you're sitting in my chair. Did you want patties? Yes? Okay. Sorry. He's like, was sitting on my lap, and then he climbed down onto my chair, and I'm like, what are you doing? You want petties, but then you run away from my hand. If my hand's just sitting there, he's like, he gets near it, like, pet me, and then I go to stick out my finger to pet him, and he runs away, like, don't fucking touch me! Like, you gotta pick your fucking lane, bird. Pick a lane! Pick a lane! What you doing? Do you want patties or not? You're being a brat. You're so fluffy and cute. Where he touched earlier felt warm, feverish. My mind was filled with thoughts of Ginia. I felt restless. That much hadn't changed. Indeed, the ardent flame in my heart that had been sweetly tormenting me still burned. So why then? Why did it feel so suffocating? It was as if someone had robbed me of an outlet for these searing emotions. Such heat could only fester. I pressed my forehead against the glass of the window in an attempt to cool off. My sigh fogged the glass. The sound of quiet footsteps met my ears. Aleste? I don't know who's saying, well, feel like it's Aleste with this comment. Or it could be the king. Saying, well, that was a rather heavy sigh. Yeah, okay. I figured Aleste. It was my first thought, so. Oh, Aleste. Sorry about that. I hurriedly fixed my posture, but Aleste smiled magnanimously. I don't mind. After all, I'm the one sighing every waking hour of the day. Of course, most of those sighs are caused by a certain man named Ginia. Hearing that name only twisted the knife in my heart. I smiled non-committally. That's when she goes, breaks down. Aleste stared at me, seemingly having noticed something was off. I can't read. Is something on your mind? If you'd like, I can lend an ear. No, I'm all right. It's a private matter. Aleste worked around the clock. How could I waste his precious time with my love troubles? You certainly don't seem all right. I cannot leave you like this. I'm fine, I swear. I ended the conversation, albeit slightly forcefully, and waved as I started backing away. I have to make something to eat, so please excuse me. You wanted to talk to Ginia, right? He's in his office. I didn't even wait for a reply, just turned and ran. Ooh, Virginia! Ooh, are we gonna have Aleste gonna be like, what did you do to her? I'm gonna go make a light snack for us. That was close. When Spacey walked out of the room with her shoulders drooped so despondently, the first emotion that flashed in my heart was a dull ache accompanied by regret. I never expected her to feel this much affection toward me. Okay, so he's not stupid. He got it. He was just, oh, okay, tell me who it is, and like rambling to just try to avoid the topic and be like, don't say me, because I can't. Okay. All right. expected her to work up the courage necessary to take a step forward and voice her feelings. There were a lot of excuses I could cook up, but at the end of the day, I miscalculated. Maisie was starting to have special feelings for me. In truth, I'd figured that out rather early on. It'd been a pleasant realization at the time. My cute secretary, who supported me in both my work and private life, trusted me and was even fond of me. Of course I'd be happy. Did you figure out that I had feelings for you before I figured out I had feelings for you? Like, before she, saw him without makeup on and literally almost passed out and died? You know what I mean? Was he like, I think she's got feelings budding in there. Okay, cool. Or was that the moment and he was like, oh, I'm going to tease her? Yeah, you know? And, well, it had gone to my head. I might have gone overboard with my doting on her. In the moment she showed me her defenseless side, whenever a touch lingered, she was flustered, blushing. She'd bristle like a cat. She was so cute, so adorable, that I'd greedily sought more. The devil in me said, a bit more, just a bit more. As long as you keep it in check, it's fine. And I turned a blind eye to the fact that the small seed had sprouted and taken shape. Now I was reaping what I sowed. I was appalled at my own foolishness. Sounds rich coming from me, but I'm such a scumbag. Seriously, why in the world is she even attracted to someone like me? We're going to need to know why you think so lowly of yourself and what's the deal here? A soft knock on the door pulled me from my self-deprecating thoughts. Oh, I'm surprised that Aleste had a soft knock on the door. That was fast. Oh, it's Aleste. I turned my gaze to the door, which slowly creaked open. The person standing there wasn't exactly who I'd expected. I'm coming in, Ginia. Oh, it's just you, Allie. Sorry, it's only me. Were you expecting someone else? I wasn't. Totally wasn't. I didn't know whether it was fortunate or not that it hadn't been Spacey. Pulling myself together, I straightened my back and faced my dearest bestie. So, what brings you here at this time of day? You're giving off ominous vibes. Good guess. I come bearing work, just as you feared. Can I leave on a one-way trip? Of course not, and don't even think about cutting any corners. Yeah, I know. I nodded wearily and shooed him away. But Allie didn't leave. He just stared at me intently for some reason. What? Is there something else? Don't cause her too much grief. I narrowed my eyes. Allie ignored my reaction and pushed up his glasses coolly. Sorry. She is the secretary you hired. I can understand causing her trouble due to work. But giving her heartache and toying with her feelings is a completely different matter. This is why we love Aleste, okay? This is why we stand glasses over here, okay? Because he's looking out for us. Sweetie, I'm gonna jump ship and come for you. I don't know how I could abandon Ginny. I love him so goddamn much. But if he doesn't get his head out of his ass and fall in love with me too, coming for you. I know that. I never had any intentions of doing such a thing. It's rare for anyone to show such genuine affection for me, and, well, I couldn't help but dote on her. Excuses. Such flimsy, hollow excuses. I wasn't deceiving anyone, let alone myself. All I could do was hang my head and cast my gaze to the floor. Come on, you're gonna have to give us more than this. But, you make a good point. I went a bit overboard. She's a very good girl. Her Prince Charming is waiting for her somewhere. As long as she doesn't get eaten by the big bad wolf. He's waiting for her somewhere, huh? You make it sound like this has nothing to do with you. Let me spell it out for you. You're saying that you don't have any feelings for her. None whatsoever. Wow, are you honestly asking? And this is why people say you're dense when it comes to emotions. Allie looked miffed, and I went to the... Allie looked miffed, and I felt the storm in my heart calm slightly. The faintest of reluctant smiles turned my lips upward. Then I looked at the door. I can't say I don't feel anything toward her, but it It'll all come crumbling down one day, even if I have caught feelings. Love requires give and take. It has to be mutual. Profound, one-sided feelings aren't enough to sustain a lasting relationship. Her passion is radiant, burning hot even, and I can't reciprocate with the same ardor. So you're claiming that there's someone else out there more worthy of her? Is that how it is? Yeah, that's why I need to properly douse this flame. After listening to my monologue, Allie stood. He seemed a tad exasperated. I wonder who's more stubborn, you or her? For those ambiguous words, he briskly strode from the room, not even pausing to bid me farewell. I watched my bestie disappear out the door before whispering to myself, Seriously, Allie, you're such a mother hen. He came off as level-headed, but he was surprisingly sentimental. If he saw anyone who needed help, he'd go up to them on reflex. I'd known him since our school days, and his personality hadn't changed one bit. Allie's right. I've been teasing Spacey too much lately. It had gone from teasing her to leading her on, yet I couldn't stop. I knew why. It was so much fun. Work was way less tedious now that Spacey was my secretary. Being with her was comfortable. I didn't want to lose it. But I had to draw a line. No, 2 lines. One to keep her at a slight distance, and the other to keep her from shutting me out altogether. My best option was probably to let the fire in her heart cool naturally. She was a considerate, earnest, and kind girl. I was sure that there were plenty of men out there who'd fallen for her charms. A good number of them had to be much more respectable than someone like me. You see, you're not giving me any reasons. Aside from, like, she's got this fire burning inside of her and I don't have that. Is it just because, again, you're like, I'm incapable of those feelings where you think you are because you just haven't felt them before type of a thing? You know what I mean? Or, like, what's your actual reasoning? I'm going to need more, sir. You're going to need to give me more. Hey, Spacey. I'm just putting it out there, but I'm one big walking red flag, okay? Yeah, we don't care. Ask me if I give a fuck. I date the pirate ships. One red flag is nothing compared to the ships that I have sailed with red flags. Ahoy, matey. No fucks given. Like, seriously, though. Apologies for the wait. Here's your order. 1 black coffee and 1 blend of the day. The beans from South Ferris have a unique, slightly bitter flavor, so feel free to add as much milk and sugar as you wish. I feel like I would break my heart to happen, even though I know it would get better, is for her to be like, I can't be your secretary anymore. I'm going to help with the coronation ceremony, whatever, but after that, I'm done. I'm going back to Lieber, just for him to be like, what the fuck? And then just, get his head out of his own ass. And that would hurt for her to do that and be like, no! But it might be the push he needs. And I wouldn't be surprised if they did that, I shall, thank you. It was late at night. Lieber's closing time drew ever closer. I was working as a waitress for the first time in a long while since my day job had ended early, and I was receiving special guests. This cake and coffee combo were truly delightful. Good for you. Even if you get fired from your day job, you always have another profession to fall back on. Hey, don't say such ominous things. I pursed my lips and glared at the grouchy guest, who shrugged nonchalantly. I placed another dish on their table, and Rady grinned from ear to ear. Is the grouchy guest Sephora? Because I feel like it should be. In any case, let's toast to our reunion. Ah, okay, it's all of our friends. When she said grouchy guest, that's the first thought that came to my head. May I remind you that we're still technically open for business? Please, God, is it all of our friends? Give me their sprites, come on! Well, it wasn't like there were any other guests around. With a wry smile, I raised my cup and officially welcomed the pair. It's nice seeing you two again, Ion, Zephora. Yay! Only 2 of them, but still. Indeed, the people sitting at this table were my old circus teammates. Listen, Ginia, if you don't want to put out, I'm gonna marry the Labyrinth Sentinel, okay? Don't think I don't have options. Because that salty clown. Listen, also, there's men lining up the block for me, so get your head out of your ass, bitch. Zephora and Ion, whom I had traveled with on my journey to Bloom Flora, sat across from me. I had no idea you were in the city. Did you arrive in our fair today?
Yeah, there's still time until the ceremony, but I have some preparations to attend to.
You're living in Cultura too, right? I hear you're Zephora's bodyguard.
Yes, Alest recently requested that I be assigned to Zephora. I want to say I don't need any bodyguards, but I'll be honest, Ion's a huge help.
Sephora took a sip of his coffee and a slightly sardonic expression came to his face. I missed you so much. I know we're here to date Ginia and I'm excited, but I love you so much and I have missed you. My precious little salty clown. Oh, look at you.
I'm sure you guys know this already, but I forced Balto out of his position as Sentinel not too long ago.
Yeah, you even made it into the newspapers. There were a ton of articles about the revolution in Cultura.
The security forces from the capital were even dispatched, weren't they? Balto turned out to be a sensational criminal.
I was one of those dispatched during that operation. Illegal underground gambling was only the tip of the iceberg. He even cultivated illegal drugs. The list just goes on and on. In the end, the citizens revolted and we seized Balto, and now he's detained in the castle's underground prison.
And you were officially named as the next Sentinel, right, Sephora? Congratulations! All your problems have been solved and everyone lives happily ever after, except for me! Because Ginia doesn't love me! And they're all like, what the fuck just happened? I'm just kidding.
If the world was filled with kind, naive people like you, then yeah, I suppose it would have been happily ever after ending.
Sephora patronized me in his wayward way as he lightly drummed his fingers on the table. See, that's why I love you, because you're kind of a dick.
And to tell you the truth, there have been a few attempts on Zephora's life since the incident.
What? People want to kill him? You sound shocked about that. Have you met him? He's a salty little bitch. Kinda got an attitude problem. But I'll throw down my life in the way to protect his ass because I love him, but I'm just saying.
To make it brief, there were people who took advantage of Balto's corruption for profit, and I'm a thorn in their sides.
Oh, scumbags! Some people are truly beyond salvation.
Are you okay?
It's not a problem. I'm borrowing Ion at the moment, and he's solved everything so far. I'm actually glad my enemies are making a move. Makes it much easier to figure out where the rats are hiding.
Holy shit, my volume just cranked. It's getting a little loud for me anyway.
I suggest not placing blind faith in me, but I shall invest all my efforts into protecting you as your guard.
Ew, you guys have it rough.
But if Ion's with you, I get why you feel so reassured. Admiration filled my heart as I doled out seconds. Then the topic of conversation turned to us.
That's the gist of our situation. How's it been for you guys?
Well, Lieber's been real busy since Spacey isn't around. She's been running around the city with Ginia every day lately since the festival's coming up. Well, that's what she's told me, at least.
Yeah.
I see. I had almost forgotten that you're now Ginia's secretary.
Can we not talk about Ginia, please?
How is it? I assume he makes unreasonable demands, but other than that, has he tormented you in any way?
Yes. No, everything's fine. He's never been mean to me. Before. Oh, and again, the game's using its great use of flashbacks for these CGs. With every word, my head drooped a little lower until I was hanging my head. It was a sure sign that something was wrong, and everyone traded looks.
Hey, you alright over there?
Yeah, you've been acting a bit weird lately. I was under the impression that you messed up at work or something.
Is Ginia the cause? If necessary, I can report him to Alest.
No, I'm fine, really. He hasn't treated me badly at all, I promise. It's just that, how should I explain this? Showered with warm gazes of pity, I decided to say, I'm not special to him. I can't voice my feelings. Well, I'm not special to him, but I also can't voice my feelings. He knows my feelings, but I'm not special to him. I feel like saying I'm not special to him is kind of cold, though. Because, like, even though, yes, I'm not special as in he's not in love with me, we are special to him. just not in the way that we want to be right now. You know what I mean? So I feel that's totally undermining him and being like, you know? So I feel like maybe I can't voice my feelings, even though you kind of sort of did and he kind of already know. Like, I don't really like either one of these, to be fair. Because, like, I guess I can't voice my feelings is the better one. But that is like, I can't voice my feelings. I can't tell him how I feel. It's like, even if you could, it wouldn't matter because you already know that he was trying to avoid you when you were like, I do have a crush on someone. He's like, oh my God, da, 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 da. Left the room and was like, oh yeah, he's trying to avoid it. He doesn't want me to tell him. So saying I can't voice my feelings, yeah, but you already know if you did, you'd get shot down because you basically did. So why do you want to go through that again? You know what I mean? But it's better than I'm not special to him because that's not exactly true. You know? Yeah, okay. It's a little hard to explain what exactly happened. Recently, Ginny has been teasing me all the time. And well, my heart's been going around in circles. I don't know what to do. I had an unrequited crush on him, and he gently put a stop to it. That was all. I didn't think Ginny was at fault or anything like that. I looked at Ion, who had originally asked me about this, and as I slowly wove my tale, the fact that like Zephora's like, "Are you fucking okay?" And then he's like, not like, "I don't give a fuck about your problems." He's like, "Are you okay?" Seriously, like he actually asked. He's such a sweet little marshmallow underneath the salt. I explained that, as Ginny had teased me, my feelings for him had gradually changed and grown. Ginny had immediately brushed me off when I tried to convey my feelings for him, though. After I finished my explanation, well, they're all going to get pissed on your behalf.
I see.
Ion stared at me with his left eye, looking somewhat bewildered.
Based on what I've heard, my objective opinion is you sound as if you have romantic feelings for Ginia.
You think so? I mean, I kind of realized it already, but.
So, in other words, you fell in love with the guy. Is that right?
Yeah, I think that's the, case?
You hear what she said down there, you tattered rag?
Sephora prodded Rady with the tip of his shoe from where he had tumbled beneath the table. Because Rady was sitting right there. We're like, I think I fell in love with Ginny, and Rady literally fell on the floor. When I'd started talking about Ginia, Rady had nodded at me encouragingly. But as my explanation progressed, his expression warped bit by bit until he couldn't even maintain his human form. I'm sorry, okay. I'm in love with Ginia, and he crushed my heart, and me just saying I'm in love with Ginia has literally made Rady completely fucking crumble into a fur bag because he can't handle it. Rady's more distraught about the fact that I love Ginia than I am about the fact that Ginia rejected me. Oh my god. Okay, you know what? Thanks. That alleviated some of my heartache. I know we're gonna have a happy ending, but my heart still hurts right now, game. Oh goddamn. At some point, he'd collapse to the floor and melted like a puddle. Then he'd stop moving entirely. How do you not love these games? Oh god. I get it, maybe you didn't play the first one, but like, how do you not? Oh my god, this game is so good. Oh god. Oh, everything about this. Rady?
If you're gonna die from shock, at least spare us the effort and dig your own grave first.
Talk about barbed tongue. Sheesh. Papa just heard his adorable daughter's heart's been stolen by an incredibly shady guy. Can't you be a little nicer?
You know when you call yourself Papa and call me your daughter, it makes our relationship and you're out a little weirder.
I can understand where you're coming from, but...
Why? Why does it have to be Ginny of all people? He's, like, the most no-go option, dude.
Wow, he certainly doesn't have a high opinion of Ginia. Though I couldn't really say he wasn't just a tiny bit shady. Rady tears pulled into... Okay. For a second, I was like, oh my god, did we get our first typo? No. Rady tears pooled into puddles
Zephora scowled, his ire raised, and turned his sharp gaze on me. The furball's melodrama aside, I have words for you as well. What is it? No, I already know. You're gonna berate me for making the wrong decision. You're an idiot. Zephora, stop trying to steal my heart. Idiot? His words were scathing, and he made no attempt to soften them. Zephora narrowed his eyes and glared at me. Seriously, that's not gonna make me not love you more. Are you trying to make me fall in love with you? Because it's working. An idiot. A moron. A woman with terrible taste. Pick your favorite. You're surrounded by men to the point of oversaturation. Why'd you go and pick the worst one? That guy's definitely trouble. Should be like, did you want me to pick you? And wait till he freaks the fuck out. I can't even say he's wrong. We'd all traveled together for a long time, so they knew exactly what Ginny was like. Oh, but sometimes you just like trouble. You know, sometimes you just... God, you know? It was common knowledge within Circus that Ginny was an extremely complicated, troublesome guy. On that note, you've met the guy. Is he even attracted to women to begin with? Okay, well, maybe he was in love with Aleste. Aleste doesn't seem to be aware of it, though. What? That point was like a punch in the gut. My words froze in my throat. I'm gonna have to say he's got to be at least a little bisexual because they wouldn't have written this route. But, see, that's... Listen, if his secret was... I'm sorry, that line just hit me in the face. Wait a minute. But if his secret, well, like, there's a reason why you couldn't date him in the first game. Because he's in love with Aleste? Because they had a thing? Because I would have been okay with that. But then, obviously, you know, that went back to my, like... Because with Thruple, I'm always trying to get a man harem in these. You know that. So, like, I will fucking find a way to make it happen, even when it doesn't logically fit. I will make it fit, okay? I will jam those pieces together, alright? Puzzle is going to be all fakakta, but I will make it fucking work. So, you know, but, like, is he even interested? You know, that's a little, there's some, like, you know, issues with you making that assumption just because he wears makeup and he's fabulous. Okay. Doesn't mean he's gay. But valid point. Maybe that's also he's like, oh, I like teasing her and she's paying attention to me. But, like, I feel like he's more just sort of in the demisexual ace bubble maybe over there. Like, I'm not interested in romance. I like teasing people and flirting and stuff like that, but I'm not really interested. And it's always a fly-by-night thing, you know what I mean? When, like, your people, oh, I'm going to flirt with this person, and they flirt with them, okay, whatever, and then you go on your way, and it's just, like, a little harmless flirt that, like, makes your day, and, like, whatever, and there's nothing to it, you know? Like a casual flirt type situation. And there's never romance or anything else involved, anything deeper. And now that this, so he's like, oh, yeah, I like messing with her, and she kind of likes me, and she's firm with me. Oh, fuck, no, she's in love with me, and shit, I can't handle this, because I'm in that on that side of the ace spectrum, even if not fully, you know what I mean? More than he is bisexual. But maybe he's bisexual too. I don't know. Maybe they're going to go all the way with it. And you know what? I'm just going to throw it out there. Listen, Ginny is fabulous, wears makeup, could probably do my hair, looks better in makeup and a dress than I probably do. And that's exactly the kind of man that I want in real life. Like, seriously, a little bisexual works for me. So if you're going to make him like that, I mean... You're not making it work. You're making it better. You were making him better than I could have ever hoped for, is all I'm saying. So, just, you know, saying. But, due to the incident after his shower, I'd realized that Ginny was surprisingly manly. But he also liked fashion. He knew more about makeup and beauty than I did. His mannerisms were more graceful than most women's. Again, that's extremely sexist to be like, men can't be like that unless they're gay. He could totally be straight and just realize that gender norms are bullshit. Okay? Huh? What? Is that why he...
Hold on. I haven't heard about him liking men either. Maybe he isn't really interested in romance like that.
See that there? Okay, right there. No?
I don't know how to put it, but stuff like gender norms don't really apply to him at all. And that's what it seems like to me, at least.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't give a fuck about these gender norms that you put people in. He's like, fuck that shit, I'm gonna do what I like. which is what everyone should do. Fuck quote unquote gender norms. Because there was a point in time where women weren't allowed to wear pants. We're wearing pants and nobody goes, oh, how manly of you. No, pants are just fucking normal. It's just 2 tubes you stick your legs in. Okay? And a skirt is just a singular tube you stick your legs in. Okay? Doesn't matter if it's 1 tube or 2 tubes. It's just clothing for your lower body. It doesn't make you gay to wear a skirt, and it's not girly or whatever. Okay? Like, yes, there are some styles that are more feminine and some styles that are more masculine, sure. But that doesn't mean that as a woman you can't wear a masculine kind of styled things. And as men you can't wear more feminine style things. You can do whatever the fuck you want because that doesn't define who you are. Thank you, Ginia. Okay? Put on some fucking guy liner and mascara because everybody can benefit from guy liner. Have you not seen a man in guy liner? It's sexy as shit. Put it on. Okay, you don't have to do like a full face of makeup. You don't need the highlighter and you don't need all that, but like you want to put some mascara on and some eyeliner? Shit, hot. Maybe I'm weird like that. I don't care. But again, it doesn't make you gay just because you're wearing eyeliner and you want to look pretty, okay? Everybody wants to be pretty. Even if men are like, no, I want to be hot or handsome. Pretty is just another way to say you're attractive, okay? Let's not get offended by it. Listen, I'm just here for Ginia, okay? The man is beautiful and that's all I want. And then being like, maybe he's bisexual, maybe he's a little asexual, and gender norms mean nothing to him. And I'm like, this is perfect. You're making him better. I'm gonna fall more in love with him and I'm gonna fall over. No, give me back that CG. Give me a flashback. That's all I need right now. Okay? And I will be officially fucking dead. If women aren't an option in his eyes, you have no choice but to give up. The end. You have a good point. The very foundations of my emotions nearly crumbled, and for a moment I felt faint. I mean, I get that too, because don't get me wrong, this is me. Most of the time, I'm like, oh my god, this man, he's gorgeous. Oh my god. Oh! I would swoon, and it's like, gay. Oh, it explains a lot. Most of the people I'm attracted to are gay. Yeah. So, this has happened a few too many times in my life. You know? Where you, like, actually have, like, a crush on someone and you're like, I don't know, I'm feeling this, but yeah, you know, we have a vibe, this is really, oh yeah, no, they're totally gay. That explains a lot. That explains a lot. You know? Like, I'm just saying. Why I should have been born a gay man. Just saying. Anyway. What grounded me, however, was some unexpected yet timely help. No, a list has mentioned that Ginny is interested in women. Really? Yes, apparently Ginny was a very different man during their school days. Like Aless, Ginia had many female admirers. That means nothing.
So his current persona's on the newer side, huh?
Good for you. That's happy news. If he's interested in women, even someone like you with no sexual appeal whatsoever has a chance. Probably. Maybe. That is so rude! And this is why I love you, you salty little bitch. Oh! Hey, watch your words, old man! I retorted Zephora's choice of words, but I still couldn't hold my head high. Zephora's just trying so hard. Yeah, you with no sexual appeal whatsoever, because you just don't want to admit that you got a thing for me. I get it. Alright, baby. It's a relief to hear that he's attracted to women, but I feel like that only makes an already uphill battle even tougher. Do you think that, like... I mean, because again, I'm attracted to men. Still doesn't mean I'm, like, hypersexual or have a normal sexuality, you know what I mean? I'm still on the A spectrum. Where I'm like, eh. But I like to look, and we play these games, and mama can talk like a horny bitch. But, like, you know, in reality, it's like, yeah, no, I mean, don't get me wrong. It's a nice paint. It's like a painting at the museum. You're like, that is nice, and I like looking at it, but I am not going to try to take it home and hang it on my wall. I just like looking at it. You know what I mean?
There's a difference between what my eyes and brain do, and my body is like, what? My body, it doesn't even exist when it comes to that shit. My brain and my body are two different things. Like, oh my god, I'm gonna get hot and bothered. Not really, actually, except for 2D men, yeah. Listen, we've all got a weird kink, okay? But, like, you wonder if it is just like that. Like, oh, yeah, okay, he's just, a little more in the demisexual range, doesn't really experience sexual attraction often, wants more of a connection before he feels anything romantically. Okay. Maybe demi-romantic, you know what I mean? Or was he just a whore when he was younger and is like, nope, I gotta rectify that, I gotta, like, just erase that, type of a thing, and then I kind of get the feeling he's more in the demi-romantic kind of side, but anyway. This means he didn't shrug me off because of my gender. He did it because he doesn't see me personally in that light.
Oh,
Do you wish to give up then? That's a valid option as well. From what I heard, Ginia weighs so heavily on your mind that it's even negatively affecting your work, correct?
Ian was right. I was free to fall in love with whoever I wanted. But if it affected my work, it would cause others trouble as well. Also, I mean, that's the point too. Like, would you like to give up? The answer is like, yes. I mean, it's an Otome game, so no, the answer is no. I'm going to keep fighting for my man. But in reality, if you were in this situation and you were like, oh, he's just not interested in me, or she's not interested in me, do you want to give up? The answer is always yes. You can't turn off your feelings. You can't be like, oh, they're not interested in me. No longer feel anything. Okay? You're going to have to slowly work around those feelings and let them go, okay? Because you can't help that you fell for someone, but you can certainly help the way you act. And if someone is not interested in you, no, I'm going to keep trying to win them over. No means no. Whether you're a man or a woman, they're not into you, you don't keep trying to win them over. So, like, Ion asking, are you going to give up? Yes. The answer should be yes. And again, it's an Otome game, so, like, the answer is, fuck no, I will make that motherfucker love me. I don't know why my brain and my reality me is triggered by this right now. Like, the answer is yes, girl. Be like, there's nothing I can do. I just have to try to get over my feelings as best I can and not make it awkward for me or for him, because I don't want him to feel weird and I don't have to talk about it and I need to get past my feelings because he doesn't feel the same way. And you got to do what you got to do to get past your feelings. Again, you can't help your feelings, but you don't just keep chasing after someone when they're not interested. You know? But it's an Otome game, so, like, I'm going to make him cookies and I'm going to make that motherfucker fall in love with me. So, reality me was triggered by that question, though. Like, that's not even a question, Ion. That's what you should do. Dear God. I was sure that even if I tried to focus on work alone, my resolve would crumble again as soon as I saw him, or he teased me.
And what matters is what you want.
What I want Ginny to fall in love with me, but I also don't want to make it awkward, and I want to respect his boundaries.
Like the others said, Ginia is very extreme in everything he does, which can make him somewhat unsuitable as a love interest.
Is this what you're trying to tell me? They're like, he was unsuitable as a love interest? No, fuck you. All the red flags is exactly why we wanted him.
If you wish to be with such a man, you need the resolve to be by his side for a lifetime, and not allow any objections from others.
This is bad advice, Ion. This is like, he's not really suitable as a love interest, but you should just fight for him and stick by him forever regardless. There's something so problematic in this. Again, I get it in the sense of the game, but, like, why is everything that's coming out of your mouth I'm taking as, like, in real world tense and being like, no, sweetie, no, no. But game, yes, sure.
Unless you have the proper resolve, I think you should consider other options.
Ion's gaze wasn't imposing, but I could tell that he was testing my determination. I accepted the challenge head on. Folding my hands into fists, I gave him my answer. This is all wrong. I do still have my doubts. After all, I've never even had a crush before, much less been in a relationship. But the feelings I have for him aren't so weak that they'll just disappear, even if I try to persuade myself they will. I mean, that's valid. Okay. You, you know. I discovered my heart's true desire despite being hidden in a fog, and I can't pretend I never saw it. It might be a difficult path, but I don't want to do nothing and live to regret it. That's why I want to do everything within my power. I pressed my hand firmly against my chest and made that declaration. A heavy sigh was all I got in response. I will do everything in my power to make him fall in love with me. Why does this bother me? I want this man to fall in love with us, but I also want her to not be that crazy bitch. Maybe I need food. I don't know. I'm a little hungry.
Why did it have to be Ginny of all people? If it were Vilio, Pashalia, Ion, or even Zephora at worst, I could hold back my tears and give you my blessing. But why'd you have to aim for the most absurd target possible, dude?
Oi, what do you mean by at worst? Why am I the bottom of the barrel?
You know, Brady's like in the list of people, like Vilio's great, Pashalia's great, Ion's great. Zephora sucks, but even worse than Zephora is Ginia, and I'm like, those are the two I love the most. I feel like Aleste would even rank above Zephora, so that's pretty funny. Zephora and Ginia are my best boys.
It's not her fault. The call of one's heart cannot be reasoned with. Seeing you talk about love with a straight face is making me short circuit. Please stop, thanks.
Oh, that's me. Sorry, Rady.
Don't apologize. I'll feel even worse if you do that. As your stand-in parent, I feel very conflicted, but, well...
Rady marched into the kitchen, his footsteps heavy. He returned in his human form, carrying a bottle of alcohol, of course. With a loud slam, he placed the bottle in front of Ion and Zephora.
What might this be?
That's one of the finest wines in my prized collection. The Celius Rosé has been aged for 20 years.
Celius Rosé, a rosé wine with a distinctive bright pink hue. It's not that renowned, but its scarcity makes it valuable. Don't be deceived by its cute appearance. It burns the throat and packs a punch.
In a situation like this, I can only drink my woes away. Join me, guys. We'll drink till dawn.
All right. Luckily, tomorrow is a day off. I'll only have one glass, and I won't hang around till dawn.
Yes, he will. Chuckle fucks are getting wasted. Ginny is going to show up, and we're going to be giggling with our boys, and he's going to be like, this bothers me.
Ugh, it's bitter. That's so bitter. Is this what tears taste like? What if it's really what you want? I'm rooting for you, okay?
Ion, you're supposed to be my bodyguard. Do something about this drunkard. I'm afraid that's impossible.
Ion lifted a glass, then looked at me. His smile shifted from something faint and wry to something slightly warmer.
Spacey, I will support your romantic endeavor. Ginia being the man of your affections will cause you much grief, but all of us are well aware that at his core, he is a good man.
Yeah, thanks, Ion.
Well, I suppose I'll give you a hand whenever possible if there's anything I can help with.
What?
What? Hey, what's with those looks? Are you implying you don't need my aid?
No, not at all. Your help would really be heartening, but,
Are you sure you're really Zephora? I totally expected you to grumble that'd be too much trouble.
This is why I miss our found family so fucking much. I love these chuckle fucks. I love their relationships with each other. I love how they interact. I love their sass. I love it all. My god, my fucking computer won't stop cranking my volume.
A free spirit like Ginia who loves doing as he pleases is even more trouble when left to his own devices. So go ahead, put a leash on him and keep him under control. It'll make my work much easier. Everyone will find more peace. Except you, of course.
His self-interest in the matter was clear, and I almost admired him for it. Stop shrieking, bird. At the same time, I was relieved. After all, Zephora would never cooperate unless there was actually a chance I could succeed. Your shrieking is too loud, and you shriek in my fucking ear, and now my ear is ringing, and I don't like it. Anyway,
I don't know whether my feelings will reach him, but I'll do everything within my power for my work and love. The road ahead was shrouded in ambiguity. However, the last thing I wanted was to regret not taking action when I had the chance. Just you wait, Ginia. He'd be the one setting the tone of our relationship, teasing me and throwing my heart into chaos. Oh, he'd been the one, sorry. He'd been the one setting the tone of our relationship, teasing me and throwing my heart into chaos. But that was gonna change. I'll show you the power of a girl in love. Alright, I'm kind of behind it if it's like, listen, I'm in love with him and he might not fall in love with me, but I'm gonna turn these motherfucking tables and give him a taste of his own medicine. And if it doesn't work, so be it. But if it does, awesome. And you know what? If it doesn't work, but it causes him some hell, good. You know, I'm behind that. Woo! Chapter 4. Look at how beautiful he looks in this, though. In the chapter thing. No, don't go away. God, you're gorgeous. I don't know how many chapters there are in his route, so. The flashiest noble in Arthur. First time I'd heard that title was long before I'd joined circus. It was right around the time I finally began venturing outside Liber again after my parents' deaths. Ugh, come on already! I don't know who's saying that. It's supposed to be... Huh? Hey, Rady, there's someone kind of shiny over there.
What's that? Shiny? Listen up! I'm going out of my way to say that the cakes at your place are delicious. Me, of all people! So ignore the peanut gallery's yapping. Hurry and come up with your next menu item or something. Losing this delightful flavor is a total travesty for Arthur's culinary scene.
I was taking a walk with Rady when I chanced upon a very gaudy individual. This had happened quite a long time ago, but I still remembered it vividly. Oh, this is a flashback. Okay. His confident, open demeanor must have left a permanent mark on me.
That dude's Ginia.
Ginia?
He's a well-known eccentric noble who loves the latest trends, even though he's upper class and hangs out at everyday places. He may not look like it, but he's pretty popular. Well, he's basically a local celebrity in Arthur.
Huh? First impression of Ginia had been of someone who lived in a completely different world. He was flashy, unique, the very definition of freedom. He looked as if the word ordinary wasn't in his vocabulary. And because of that, I thought that our lives would never overlap. But look at me now. I was chosen as that very same person's secretary. Furthermore, I even wanted his eyes on me. I wanted him to fall for me. I could never have predicted this future in a million years. I want his eyes on me, I want his hands on me, I want every bit of him on me. Back in the present day, the day after I hardened my resolve to woo Ginia, I crashed headlong into the first hurdle. What should I do? What do you think?
Excuse me?
As the sentinel, Zephora was allocated a private room in the castle during his stay in Arthur. I'd gone there to deliver documents to him, but even after official business, I stayed behind.
And that came out of nowhere. State your subject first and speak in a way that makes sense to people who don't live inside your head.
I just told you! I want to win Ginia's heart, but I don't know what to do. This time I gave Zephora a more coherent explanation. I wasn't proud of it, but when it came to love, the list of my experience was a blank page. I didn't even know where to start, much less how to make him swoon, so I wanted to borrow Zephora's wisdom. 'Cause you think Zephora's making a lot of people swoon? I mean, aside from me? 'Cause I'm gonna go with probably less people than you've ever made swoon. Hearing that, Zephora looked at me, downright incredulous.
So, you're saying you're so incompetent when it comes to romance that you're stuck at the starting line?
Yes, but you could say it a little nicer than that, you know?
Why did you consult me? Have you never heard of the phrase, the right tool for the right job?
But you said you'd help me, Zephora.
I did, but I didn't expect you to be knocking on my door the very next day.
Well, I'm just that desperate, so let me off the hook, please.
You've gotten bolder compared to when we were in circus, and not in a good way. Your superiors influenced you way too much.
He let out an exaggerated sigh that was clearly deliberate before facing me again. Poor fucking Zephora. Considering he hadn't just left me to fend for myself at this point, he was a good person at heart, as I thought.
Now, let's start with the biggest problem. There's a high chance that Ginia doesn't see you as a romance option. He treats you more like a little sister.
I get where you're coming from. Ginny had stood before me half naked after a shower and insisted I feed him cookies. It would make a lot of sense if he saw me as a sister, his family, right? I mean, I wouldn't exactly do that with my family. So you're saying my first mission is to make him see me on equal ground?
Yeah? How about you learn a thing or two about makeup and polish your feminine charms? Now, that'll only get you to the starting line, I suppose.
He shrugged apathetically before shooing me away, impatient.
Oh, and one more thing. Make him indebted to you or something.
Indebted? By doing my best at work, you mean?
That works too. No one wants to let go of a capable subordinate who does their job well. As long as you make Ginia consider you someone he can't go without, even if it's just once, you've secured your victory. You can use that status as leverage and work in your favor during negotiations about your employment.
Workplace negotiations weren't exactly what I was aiming for, but I understood where he was going with this. The point is that I showed Ginia how valuable I am and become someone important to him. If I become a reliable subordinate, I might attract more of his attention, too. Okay, thanks, Sephora! I'll test out all kinds of things.
Yeah, do that. And if possible, go down a route where you'll never bother me with this again.
I'm not necessarily sure, okay, right here, like, how I feel about this, like, he doesn't see me as a romance option, so I'm gonna do everything I can to force him to love me. I don't... I love Ginia, and I'm all for doing whatever we can to romance Ginia, but I don't necessarily know if I love them thinking, hey, Ginia's not really into you, so let's con him into... You know what I mean? I feel like they could have done this in a different way. Like, okay, he's not interested in me, so I'm just gonna, brush it off and, like, whatever, and just be myself. And then he just realizes that, no, maybe he really is, but whatever is in his way. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because if he's, like, demi-romantic or something like that, then it's gonna take just getting past, like, seeing you in a different light. Like, you forcing yourself on him isn't gonna change that person's, like, thought process. You know what I mean? Like, so it feel like, I don't know. I mean, it's gonna end up perfect and happy and wonderful, but I don't necessarily know if I kind of like where they are with this right now. I'm like, I feel like you could have done something a little bit better than that. And then I do feel like maybe it isn't. See, that's why you couldn't romance him in the first game as opposed to, no, we just decided to cock block you and not give you a route with him. You could have just not, you just didn't give us a route with him. You didn't have to make it a weird, convoluted thing. Well, we'll see, because he's not interested, and then you're going to con him into, I don't know, you know what I mean? It just makes it feel a little cheap and weird. Don't get me wrong, we're going to get to the end, and I'm going to be like, happy, and I love everything, but we went from, like, really, really happy, and I was really, really excited, and I was really here, to, like, now we're here, and I'm like, now I'm questioning this, and being like, don't get me wrong, I still love this, but I don't love the idea of how they're going about this. Like, I think we could have done something a little bit different and better and didn't make it feel kind of wrong. And, like, it's kind of like when you have the amnesia situations. You're like, did we really have to do this? Did we really have to do the amnesia route? Really? Really? That? We couldn't have done anything else? Where you're just like, I just feel kind of about this forcing Ginia to love me. Like, I don't know. The underlying ick is kind of, unfortunately, taking away some of my, like, my joy with it. It'll come back, don't worry. It'll come back, but right now I'm in the, like, I don't love it, Even Zephora's jabs didn't put a damper on my spirits. I doused out of the room at once. He has a good point. There's a 10-year age gap between Ginia and me to begin with. In that case, I need to aim at becoming a mature woman who's on equal footing with him. I mean, that also might be it, too. That's a little awkward and weird now that you pointed it out. Please don't. I mean, we're living in, like, a weird other world, like, ye olde timey kind of magic world. So, like, being 17 is, like, not weird, but still when you're, like, 17 and 27, it is a little weird. That's a little weird. That's kind of fucked up. But the world we live in is more like ye olde times where, okay, fine. Just don't harp on it too much. I don't really want Ginia to feel indebted to me like Sephora suggested, but If I if I go all out at work, Ginia will have a lighter workload. For now, I'll focus on executing the tasks at hand perfectly. And so, on a certain morning, I was walking alone in the city after a preliminary inspection of the hotel where the ceremony guests would be staying. Let's see, Ginny and I are supposed to go to Kalita this afternoon. We're heading there to check the inventory of mystic tools for the ceremony and to fetch application forms for using them, I think. The task itself was simple and effortless. I could probably take care of it alone. The issue was the traveling time from Arthur to Kalita. If we depart in the afternoon, it'll be the dead of night when we get back. I recalled Ginia grumbling as I gently thumbed through my bag. Inside were homemade cookies, perfectly puffy and crunchy. See, that's it. Making him cookies and whatever. They were the same flavor as the cookies that Ginia had taken a liking to last time I baked. I made them in the middle of the night last night so he'd have a snack he could enjoy on the journey. I made them myself. Hope he'll like them. In fact, I'd made batch after batch until I was satisfied, so it was dawn by the time I finished. But it hadn't been a waste. I could proudly declare they were my masterpieces. The most delicious cookies I'd ever made, and I've already eaten 37 because when every time you put a tray of cookies in the oven and you take one out and you put the next tray in, you have to eat at least 2 off the tray. So and then, all of them. And now I'll give these as a present and draw them in. Let's go! In the middle of my planning... Hey! Wait, was that... Oh, okay. No, it was Vilio then. Hey! Because there was the only 2 missing, right? Look, Pashalia, I knew it. It's Spacey. It certainly is. Amazing. Your eyes are as sharp as always, Vilio. Oh! Yay! The rest of our found family. You knew they were going to show up eventually. Hearing familiar voices and names, I frantically scanned my surroundings. There was the sound of springy footsteps and 2 nostalgic smiles rushed up to greet me. Yo, it's been so long. Vilio, and you too, Pashalia. It's been a while, Spacey. You look like you're doing well. I'm glad. I'm doing well now that I got to see you guys. When did you 2 arrive in Arthur? I heard you went back to your hometown to recuperate, Pashalia. I got some good rest, and thanks to that, my illness has mostly stabilized. Vilio happened to drop by my village to check on me, and I asked him to give me a ride. Well, a little light exercise is good for you after you've been on bed rest. I see. I'm glad you're recovering. I didn't know the details about Pashalia's situation, but I'd heard that his illness was complex with only a handful of known cases, and curing it was tricky. Seeing him in good health made me breathe a sigh of relief, thank God, because in the end we were like, is he gonna die in these other routes? But nope, somehow miraculous recovery. Good, that's all we need. You can't let him die. Then I smiled at the pair. Make sure to stop by Lieber later. Brady and the others miss you guys, and there's so many things we have to catch up on. I have some work after this, so it'll be night by the time I get back, and a thought suddenly occurred to me, and I broke off. Oh, what if... Hey, do you 2 happen to be free right now? Yep, sure. I was planning on staying in the capital for a while. My only plan for today was wandering around the city and going wherever I felt like, so I'm up for a change of plans. Same here. The only things on my itinerary were roaming around Arthur and Kalita and purchasing some souvenirs for my parents. Alright, that's perfect. I actually have a request for you guys. A few hours later... Sorry I'm late, Ginia. I sprinted to our meeting place, panting heavily and trying to catch my breath. Ginia, who'd been fiddling with his hair to stave off the boredom, spotted me and lifted his face. You were late by a whole 10 minutes. What a rarity. Sorry about that. Something suddenly came up. I honestly don't mind, but it's probably your first time arriving late since you became my secretary. Are you feeling ill, perhaps? No, I'm doing fine. Oh, well, good. I guess we have a topic to entertain ourselves with during our tedious journey, at least. Nope, we're gonna fly on Rady. Ginia grinned briefly before surveying our surroundings. More importantly, did you arrange our carriage? It has to be one with good seats so our poor butts won't get all sore. About that, could you take a quick look at these documents first? What's this? Application for borrowing mystic tools from the Sage Tower. Hang on. Isn't this the document we were supposed to fetch during our trip?
Why is it here?
Ginny's eyes were as wide as saucers, and I smiled from ear to ear. Oh, we had them help us. At the same time, two silhouettes nimbly popped out from behind him.
Surprise! Nice seeing you again, Ginia. We haven't met since our last show, have we? Vilio, Pashalia, why in the world are you two here?
I stumbled across them earlier. They're visiting, and, well, I asked a tiny favor. Ginia was still stunned. Seeing this, I explained how we'd gotten here. I asked Vilio to give me a ride to Kalita. Then I'd done all the necessary inventory checks for the mystic tools and had gotten the requisite forms. That was one big task off the list for this afternoon. Though we still had some work, there was a lot less pressure, and I don't have to sit in a carriage with Ginia for hours, fawning over him. But you made all those cookies for nothing. Oh, and also I made you cookies for the trip, but since we're not taking the trip, you might as well take them anyway.
That distance might have taken a few hours by carriage, but it's a real short flight for us dragons. There was a piece of cake. Oh, oops. Talking about cake is making me hungry. Shall we head off and grab a bite at Libra then, Vilio?
You should be like, oh, here's cookies! I was gonna give them to Ginia on her trip, but do you want them? Then Ginia will get fucking jealous that you gave the cookies to Vilio.
That would be fucking genius. Please come join us after you finish your work. I'd love to catch up.
Okay, see you, you two. I'll thank you guys properly later. The two nodded, big smiles on their faces, before walking past me. As they did so,
I know it's gonna be tough since you picked Ginia, but you can do this.
You have our support too. I'm always here to lend you an ear, okay? Who told them? Did we tell them? They whispered quickly to me. I waved at the pair before turning around to find a baffled expression on Ginia's face. We're whispering and you're like... And we're giggling with them, and then Ginia's like, wait a minute, are you sharing a moment?
Did those two say something to you just now?
You're probably just imagining things. It's a secret between me and my friends. My lips are zipped. I could never admit that I'd asked the two advice about my crush on the way to Kalita. Ginia stared at me, suspicious, as I played dumb. But he likely didn't think it was a big deal, because he soon resumed flipping through the papers.
Oh my, the forms and the inventory check were both done splendidly.
You're like, well, I'm good at my job, bitch.
I can't believe our work's done before we even set off.
All right, I made a good impression.
Okay, I'll hand these into the castle.
I internally jumped for joy before slipping my hand into my bag. All that's left is to give him my present. I grabbed my masterpiece cookies and was just about to offer them.
And that aside, have you been getting proper rest?
When Ginia's sentence made me freeze. Where did that come from?
My dear, you have bags under your eyes. Have you been getting enough sleep at night?
Oh, I've been shaving hours off my sleep to do work and make these cookies, but naturally I couldn't admit that, and I faltered. That was answer enough for Ginia, and he let out an exasperated sigh.
Listen, I'm happy you're trying so hard. You've helped me a lot. But your priorities are all backwards if you collapse because of it. It'll make me sad, you understand?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Thanks to you, our schedule's pretty much open today. You should reward yourself for your efforts, so take the rest of the day off. Relax as much as you can, okay?
His words were kind. Very, very kind. But it was fatally different from the type of kindness I was seeking. After hearing that, there was no way I could give him the cookies I'd stayed up to make. I can only watch him numbly as he disappeared into the distance. Oh. Anyway, that's where we're going to stop. So, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.